Well, welcome back to HorrorVision, and I dealt with it. The note itself was a very cryptic note. As a matter of fact, it was all in gibberish. I couldn't really understand it. But as you see in some of the videos, I think I've been here. I've out of the woods, and now I actually used this tree and made this bunk bed. Very interesting, huh? Yeah. And I also went to my little brother's room, just waiting until my room is actually finished. It's actually almost finished. It just needs a fresh coat of paint, and then I can put my stuff back in. And it's going to be one wonderful time here at HorrorVision. I'm going to have a new room here. But the nightmare's not over, because I have to look at a remake from 2010 of a classic film. A classic film from Wes Craven, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, A Nightmare on Elm Street. You were once such a good movie until this remake came along on April 30th, 2010. Not only has it become one of the most disappointing movies of all time, remake-wise, you have to put Michael Bay in there that produced it. And trust me, there's gonna be another fucking movie he produced later, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Not only does it recycle some of the classic scenes that we all seen in the original, but it definitely has one thing that's missing, and that's fresh parts. I mean, there are some, like the dream sequences, which I think are very high value for a good film, for a film like this, and they're very nice. But the one that gets me is the grocery store scene, and come on, a boiler room? You could turn something into like abandoned classroom, but you can't do an abandoned grocery store? But I'm getting ahead of myself. The CG is total garbage in this film, and that's not even more. The characters are very dull and bland, and Freddy Krueger, played by Jackie Earle Haley, is not good, but I know he tried in the role. He does play a little slimy and a little creepy, but it was not the same as Robert Englund used to do back in the original 80s Nightmare on Elm Street. So, let's just dissect the main problems of this film for once. The fact that this remake doesn't really put too much into it and doesn't really show it to being good, it was crazy. I mean, the one thing I did like was the actual transformation scenes here, but again, like I said, the kind of grocery store should not have been turned into a boiler room. It should have turned into an abandoned grocery store with Freddy Krueger just walking towards the aisles. That would have been a sick thing. The fact that the makeup itself is also CG'd is just looks terrible. I mean, literally. And the fact that there's going to be a Nightmare on Elm Street coming this later, in the future, it begs the question, how is it going to perform? It's the same thing I talked about with the Beetlejuice 2 remake, Beetlejuice 2 sequel, is that whatever it takes, it has to take very crazy emphasis on a storyline, or, just like the Halloween films, should take a different approach. And I always liked how the Halloween films did take it a different approach. Wait until we see it one Halloween movie I can't stand. But it's a different approach. I actually did enjoy some parts of the film, but others I just hated. It was pretty bad. I really don't recommend this film. If I would give you my picks, I'd rather stick to the original myself, but I can't give my word. I've heard stick to the original, 3, and New Nightmare, because those are the best, but I'd rather say stick to the original because I know that one best. I don't know 3, I don't know Nightmare, I don't know the rest of the sequels yet. I need to look at them myself. So, anyhow, tune in tomorrow, and we are going to be looking at, yes, again, a WWE superstar. I don't know why I said that, because I really did not talk about Nightmare on Elm Street yet. Yeah, literally, I was actually scared. What was I talking about? So, tune in tomorrow, and this time we're going to be looking at, the movie that I dreaded to see, and probably is the worst WWE film ever made. And since they copyrighted me in the last time I talk about them, this time I'm prepared not to get that strike. So, I'll see you there.
Dean! Dean, stop!